you really have to carve out the time and sometimes plan ahead and say no to other things. But it's worth it because that will fuel you to be able to do the other things that you need to do when you're dedicating a little bit of time to your hobby or your passion that you really enjoy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sharing Passion and Purpose podcast. My name is Nancy Moore, and I am the host of this weekly podcast that provides career and creative inspiration to help you build a passionate and purpose-filled life. You'll hear from guests that will help you tap into your creative potential, pursue a career with passion, and build on your biggest and best resource, yourself. I'm excited to have you join this conversation. I'm so happy you're here. Let's get started. Lindsay Morris is the creator of Tulsa Places, an Instagram account that shares her love of local places in and around the Tulsa area. Lindsay, a native Tulsan, realized while attending college at Oral Roberts University that she was passionate about sharing her insight into all the cool, fun places and spaces that Tulsa has to offer with her fellow college friends. In fact, many would seek her out for her local knowledge. And so what started out as Lindsay sketching out maps for her fellow classmates in her college dorm room, showcasing these must-visit places, turned into a blog later, and then also transitioned into her current social media site called Tulsa Places. During this visit, you're going to hear it's a lot more than just Tulsa Places for Lindsay. So although she has a great job that she enjoys very much, we talk mostly about this passion that she has, and I would say a hobby. She actually calls it a pastime, so you're going to hear more about that and how it's been an instrumental source of deep joy and connection for Lindsay. And you'll hear her heart for doing all of this, and then she also shares some really fun places around T-Town for people to check out, so stay tuned because she has some great insight that she's going to share for my listeners. So I hope that you enjoy this conversation with Lindsay. So I am so happy to have Lindsay Morris with me on the podcast today. Lindsay is just such a cool lady, has a great Instagram called Tulsa Places that she is very passionate about. Actually, she's got a lot of passions, but she is here today. So welcome, Lindsay.
Thank you for having me, Nancy.
Yes, I am so glad to be talking to you. So if you'll just kind of tell people a little bit about your Instagram, Tulsa Places, and how that got started.
Sure. So I grew up in Tulsa. I've always loved introducing people to Tulsa and the things that I enjoy doing here. So this all kind of started when I was a freshman at Oral Roberts University way back in the dark ages before...
You're way younger than me.
Well, basically what I had to do at that time, I don't know if blogs even existed. So for my friends who came from out of state or out of Tulsa, I would draw a map of the city of Tulsa and point out some of my favorite things, like the center of the universe downtown. My favorite parks, I would just point out on the map, and people loved it. I had strangers asking me to create maps for them. So basically, Instagram didn't start until mid 2010s. So how this evolved over time was starting in 2012. I started a blog called Tulsa Places. And the reason I started it was I wasn't really loving my full-time job at the time. My degree is in journalism, so I've always loved writing. But at that time, I was writing for a magazine for the power engineering industry. Mm-hmm. So it was for engineers who worked at like coal-fired power plants, extremely technical. And so, sometimes you have those jobs that you don't love. And the great thing about that is it gives you some time to express yourself through your pastime. And that's what ended up happening. So I created the blog Tulsa Places, and I would just go around and write about, my favorite things about Philbrook Museum. One of my favorite blog posts, I was actually invited to go to the Canebrake, which is a really neat resort in Wagner, Oklahoma. And my husband and I got to stay the weekend and experience the hot yoga and the wonderful restaurant there and stay the night. So I had different experiences like that through the blog. Then in 2015, I started an Instagram because that was kind of where things were headed. I feel like now the way we put out information is less words and more pictures and videos. So that's I don't really do the blog anymore. I just do Instagram and Facebook. And anytime I go to a fun business in Tulsa, whether it's a restaurant, coffee shop, fun place to take my kids, I'll just take some pictures or do a video and write a few words about it. And I just like sharing fun places that I discover.
Mm-hmm. It's so neat because you have such a heart for Tulsa and have, grown up here and, like you said, attended ORU. I feel like you're one of the OGs as far as blogging and then starting Instagram, because for me, it was even later on, that when I started the podcast, even actually a little before that, I had my personal account, but it was way past that. So you kind of were on the forefront, of that, and seeing how technology and Instagram could be beneficial for Tulsa Places.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I enjoy it. Doing an Instagram or Facebook is so easy. Anybody can start one. And I know some people are kind of scared to put themselves out there on social media, and you don't always have to be the one in front of the camera. So if you have a passion for a pastime or whatever it is, don't be afraid to start a social media channel and just run with it. It's free. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like you said. And I think people start finding you, through that method or through that medium, just as they're interested in things. So Tulsa Places. So tell me a little bit about what you enjoy about it.
So I love getting the word out about local Tulsa businesses. I feel like Tulsa has such a great small and medium-sized business community. And these places, whether it's restaurants, coffee shops, art institutions, they really shape our community and bring personality to our city and the suburbs. I really want to encourage our community to try to shop local in any way that I can. Of course, it's easy to just use your Starbucks app, and I'm guilty of that, to order ahead on the Starbucks app or Chipotle, whatever it may be. But I think we have to make a conscious effort to support those local businesses. And there was a big push for that during COVID. We had some great Facebook pages start during COVID to help support local businesses and keep them thriving during that difficult time. And so we just need to continue to make a conscious effort to support these individuals because that's their whole lives. I mean, a lot of those business owners, that is their only stream of income. So they're fully dependent on how many people show up to their business any given month. So I hope that my posts will encourage people to get out and enjoy our local businesses. And also I want people to develop more of a sense of adventure. So I find that I'm now in my 40s, and sometimes I can just get into ruts where I go to the same places over and over. My husband and I have, 4 to 5 restaurants that we really truly do love more than others, but I don't want to only go to those restaurants. I want to be willing to try new places, new cuisines of food, and not be afraid to step out and try new things. So I want to encourage people to do the same. And then kind of the third thing is that I just love writing. So my Tulsa Places is a way that I can continue to keep up my writing and use that journalism degree. And I'm proud to say that none of my content is ChatGPT generated.
Okay.
It is all truly me writing.
Okay. And that not a lot of people can say that lately, even though ChatGPT is fairly new. it's being utilized a lot. And so, yeah, okay, that's cool. I love that shop local because we do kind of get away from that. It is easy to use the Starbucks app and, in purchasing coffee or instead of thinking about these local places. And so that's what you're doing. You're sharing these local places. And you and I were talking before we started recording, and you were saying really this, you do have a full-time job. So I want to acknowledge that you enjoy, but this hobby brings you tremendous joy and you are passionate about Tulsa and sharing these places. But you mentioned that you take probably 3 to 5 minutes a day and invest in your passion.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. And that's not a whole lot when you really think about it.
That's what I recommend. I love it.
I heard you speak about that. Yeah. And I just encourage people to do that. If you have something that you enjoy doing, even if you have a full-time job, you can carve out a few minutes every day to contribute to working on your passion.
Yep. Okay. And I love just acknowledging it doesn't take a lot of time. And when you get in that headspace and you're working on something that you truly enjoy, I think that just affects your mood. It affects your outlook, the way you respond to people, your family, your kids. But just having that little bit of time, because everybody does have 3 to 5 minutes.
Definitely. And I will say, and like you said, I do enjoy the full-time job I have now, but especially at the beginning when I started all of this, the work I was doing was so technical and more left brain than I naturally am. So my pastime doing this has been more of a right-brained and creative outlet. And you see that a lot of times. I think of like Jill Donovan, who she's a lawyer by trade, but she started Rustic Cuff, which is obviously much more of a creative passion than a typical day at a law firm. So, a lot of times your hobby will allow you to practice creatively, and I feel like it opens up new spaces in your brain that you don't get to use every day. So do dedicate the time to your craft.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I love that. Okay, so you have been all of these different places, but how do you I'm saying you've been all these places, but how do you find these places?
So a lot of times friends or Instagram followers will reach out and suggest places. So I always welcome direct messages on social media. Sometimes I'll hear about places through others that I follow on Instagram. And then, people I work with know what I do for fun. So if they see me walking around, they'll say, hey, you need to try this place. So a lot of times it is just people suggesting things, or, if I see it on Instagram.
Okay. So as being, we're both Tulsans. I didn't grow up here, but I love it here. So for people that maybe don't know about our city and what we offer, what do you love about Tulsa? Because you even grew up here, went to college here, still live here.
So obviously, as with any city, I feel like it's the people that make the city.
Yeah.
And Tulsa has such beautiful souls. I will give an example from the Tulsa Oilers game the other day. I don't go to Oilers games regularly. It's maybe once a season. And I don't go to the BOK Center a whole lot, which is where the games are played. So somehow I found myself at the BOK Center 2 weekends in a row. 2 weeks ago, we went to the Harlem Globetrotters game. I have 2 boys, ages 5 and 8, so they absolutely love that. And then this past Sunday, we had Oilers tickets, so we went there. Now, when we went to the Harlem Globetrotters, we ended up spending about $50 on drinks and food, which can very easily happen in a stadium setting. Mm-hmm. So I told them before the Oilers game, I said, we're going to eat all the snacks and drinks we want in the car, but we're not buying at the BOK Center today. It's just too expensive. And my 8-year-old, who is very responsible, said, well, I have $10. Can I use my money? And so I said, sure. If you want to bring your $10, it's cash, and you can use your $10 if you find something that's under $10. Lo and behold, we stand in the popcorn line for a $7 thing of popcorn. And he gets to the front and hands the guy his $10. And the man said, we are cashless here at the BOK Center. We only take credit cards. I didn't even bring my wallet in. because I thought this way, if I leave my wallet in the car, they aren't going to be able to get money out of me I will, And so I felt awful, total mom fail in that moment. We had not only one person, but two people offer to pay for his popcorn. Oh, and they both said, we don't want your money. And I had to tell the guy who ended up using his credit card to pay for it, I said, he is very responsible and he will feel bad if he doesn't pay you. So my son did give him his cash. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like that's an example of the type of city that we live in. Just wonderful people.
I want to take a short break to share my next live event. It's a live podcast event called Conversations with Passion and Purpose on Friday, May 9th from 11:30 to 1 in Tulsa. My special guest is going to be Muriel Juneberry Berrien. She is the creative mastermind behind Strawberry Shortcake and the Care Bears. She's best known for bringing her beloved characters to life. Well, and for her fun kitchen dances on social media. Muriel will share the story of her artistic journey from the early beginnings to creating some of the most iconic characters in pop culture. So this conversation, you will hear how she stays inspired, her daily habits that set her up for success, and how her positive outlook has shaped her life and career. Whether you're an aspiring artist, a fan of her work, or simply looking for a dose of creativity and motivation, this is an event you won't want to miss. This is a room that you will want to be in. The women are incredible. The conversations and connections are amazing. And I would love to see you connect, learn, and grow through this conversation. So to purchase tickets, go to sharingpassionandpurpose.com, hit the event link, and you will be able to purchase tickets. And I would love to see you there.
A lot of the business owners of the places I go to, they just have hearts of gold. They are passionate about their restaurant, their coffee shop. And I also think that Tulsa is a great place to start a business. I like to joke, especially a Mexican restaurant. You'll definitely be successful if you start a Mexican restaurant. But our economy is really strong, and it's a great place to start a business.
Okay. Oh, I love that too. Okay. So you've gone so many different places, but is there kind of a favorite, a hidden gem that you would like to give a shout out to?
Sure. I thought of a couple.
Oh,
so if you like Asian food, pho, I think I'm saying it right. Viet Hong, I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but it's at 21st and Memorial, amazing pho. And then for coffee and unique pastries, Bryce's at 91st and Memorial, it is South African. So they have some really unique flavors you won't find anywhere else. And then if you enjoy hiking, because I do cover more than just food and drinks, it's all about any place in the Tulsa area. My favorite place that's kind of a hidden gem to go for a hike is the Keystone Ancient Forest in Sand Springs.
All three places I have not been.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and I've only heard of the Keystone Ancient Forest, but have not been there. And the other two I wasn't familiar with. So I'll have to check those out. Do you have people tag you when I go? Can I tag Tulsa places and then you reshare?
I would love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm going to have to go check those out. Okay. One thing we talked about is it's important for you to be honest when you're going and in visiting these places, restaurants, coffee shops, wherever. And so, talk to me about that, like what you share from these places, because you are, honest in your review of these places.
Yeah. So I wouldn't consider myself to be a food critic, because a true food critic is going to slice and dice and share anything awful about the experience that they had. I don't want to be the person that causes a Tulsa area business to suffer. That's just not my personality. So, for example, if I go to a Mexican restaurant and the beef and the taco I had was terrible, I'm just not going to talk about the taco. But if I had amazing service and the queso was the best I've ever had, then that's what I'm going to focus on and show you pictures of. So I do feel that I need to be honest, and also that I need to keep things positive because there's enough negativity out there. If you want to experience a food critic trashing a business, there are a lot of those out there and you can follow those. But my goal is really just to help expose good businesses to the community.
Okay, I love that. And that goes along with your personality because you are positive. So I feel like you will see, you'll be able to highlight, what is positive about that place and what you enjoy. Because too, you can't talk about every single dish and every single thing, but the things that stand out to you that you think are really good, are of course easy to share when you like them too.
Definitely.
So yeah. Okay. So if people are interested in maybe having their business highlighted, then, talk to us about that process. Like, how does somebody reach out to you? What are you looking for, to highlight in a business, that kind of thing?
Sure. You can just direct message me on Instagram or Facebook. I'm at Tulsa Places. And I'm looking for anything new, unique. I like kid friendly. They don't have to be kid friendly, but sometimes I like to take my kids places. And I highlight Tulsa and the surrounding areas. And also, this is just me personally. I appreciate places that are not pretentious. So I will especially love your business if it's welcoming, not just to me, but to all the customers.
Okay. Oh, I love that. Okay. So right now too, I know you said that you are, you go all over the Tulsa surrounding areas. So Jinx, Owasso, Bixby, Broken Arrow, everywhere. So, you have a theme this year. And you also have a friend that's seen in the pictures too. So I'm thinking, I wonder if you kind of want to mention your theme and then also your friend.
Definitely. So the best thing about exploring these places is that I build relationships while I'm doing the exploring because most of the time I have someone with me. So the last few years, the primary person that I've had with me is my friend Bernie or Bernadette. And she actually had this idea to do a themed exploration of a certain type of food or drink every year. So we started it in 2022 and we went to a different burger place every month. So we called ourselves the Burger Babes. We have a different name to go with each year. Then in 2023, we did Mexican places and we called ourselves the Hot Tamales.
Oh, I love these.
In 2024, last year, we were the Breakfast Blondes. So we went to breakfast places. And now this year, we're doing coffee and we're calling ourselves the Percolated Princesses.
I love it.
So we're a mess, but we have a lot of fun. And we just, honestly, this has become an excuse for us to get together once a month, that we have to do it. Like usually when we just finished the place for March, we said, well, let's go ahead and get April on the calendar. So it's been a good way to deepen our friendship. And like I said, we just try a different place that has that type of food or drink once a month.
Okay, I love that. And it's fun, like you're saying, that just building or continuing your friendship and being able to share that with your friend, I think that's important. And so it's something that she loves to do and you love to do, so you can bond over it too. So it's helping people in the Tulsa community kind of get recognized, but it's helping the two of you too with your friendship. I love that.
Yes. And we would love comments on those posts as far as if you have suggestions of different coffee places that you enjoy, please feel free to comment on the posts.
Okay.
And we'll try. We can't hit up all of them because we only have 12 months in the year, but we will do our best to go to some of the ones that maybe people haven't heard of as much.
Okay. That sounds good. Okay. So I did ask you, but the places that you're looking to feature, it can be, you're looking for local.
Yes.
Right. And then just here within the Tulsa metro area.
Yes.
And do you then maybe talk to them about, your expectation of, when you're going to be there, your theme, that kind of thing?
So I don't typically. I guess I'm a little sneaky about it. Typically, I'm not getting paid anything to do these posts. Now, I will tell you, I've never actually made a dime. In all honesty, I've never made a dime off of any of my posts. Will that change in the future? Who knows?
I'm going to say yes, because I'm talking to you about that now. But because I do think that you could have this as a side hustle, and we've talked about that. But right now, I think, I know you're laughing at me. Right now, you're enjoying it, and it's amazing. And I'm glad that you clarified that you have not been making money on it. But I do feel like it can be a stream of income.
Sure. So right now,
sure,
I'm not opposed to it,
okay.
But I just choose the places that I think sound good. We go in, we take our pictures, or do a reel or whatever. And now, if a business specifically invites me to come out, they're a new coffee shop, or then a lot of times they'll say, hey, come enjoy a free coffee on us. So sure, have I received free coffees or free ice cream? Every once in a while. But for the most part, it's just me. I have my ongoing list of places I want to go to, and just show up and take pictures and do a video.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love it. This is such a cool hobby, and, you're so good at it and so passionate about it. I just love it. So I didn't ask you this before, but is there anything else maybe you'd like to share that we haven't gotten to?
I thought of a few other places I wanted to mention that are not necessarily hidden gems, but I want to make sure people know some things happening at these places. So, like I said, I have 2 kids, and the 2 places we probably go the most are Tulsa Zoo and the Gathering Place. So Tulsa Zoo has so much happening right now, and I don't know if everyone's aware of it, but we do have 5 Malayan tiger cubs. So we have the largest Malayan tiger population in the entire world right now. And now I will warn you, they don't look like they're tiger cubs anymore, because they look almost full size. So don't be disappointed when you go, but we have so many tigers, and it's so much fun. We have a baby giraffe, a baby siamong, and we are developing a new area called African Wilds, which is going to feature lions. We are bringing back lions. Yay. A pygmy hippo, first pygmy hippo they've ever had, zebras, and more. So if you haven't been to the Tulsa Zoo lately, you definitely need to make a stop. And then Gathering Place, everybody talks about Gathering Place, but I just wanted to share my favorite thing to do after the boys have spent hours playing and they're all sweaty and exhausted. We like to go into Red Bed Cafe, which is one of the buildings there. And the strawberry ice cream there is phenomenal. It has real strawberries in it.
I wonder if that's the Tillamook.
It could be. I'm not sure.
Okay. They used to have that brand there, and I loved it. But it's been a while since I've been, and I've never had the strawberry ice cream. I'm a chocolate girl, but I'll try it.
It's so good.
Okay.
And then a new coffee shop I really like is called Pony Coffee.
Okay. You know what's funny? A friend just invited me to coffee, and she loves that place. So that's where we're going.
You're going to love it.
Okay.
It's very unique. It's in like an old house. And if you have kids, the outdoor space has tons of area for kids to run around. New restaurants. I have 2 that I love. Now, they're both a little on the fancier end. So this would be a nice like birthday or anniversary date. Barron's on First, downtown Tulsa. It has like a cattle barren feel as the decor. Amazing steaks. And then the Copper Dome restaurant, which is at the Silo Event Center in West Tulsa. Such a unique menu. It's just such a cool dining experience. You've got to try it. And then for my friends who are gluten-free, I did want to give a shout out to Que Gusto, downtown Tulsa. Their empanadas, almost all of them are gluten-free, and they are so good. I'm not gluten-free, but I enjoy their gluten-free empanadas. You would not know that there's not gluten in them.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And then my last thing
Yes.
is if you want to have a little bit of a fancy, fun experience with probably some girlfriends, because this is kind of a girly thing to do, Stone Horse Cafe every Tuesday through Friday from 2 to 4 has tea time.
I didn't know that.
Now, you will not want to eat lunch or dinner because the amount of food they give you will suffice for 2 meals.
Okay.
It's so much food, but I think it's like 5 to 7 courses plus tea. It's such a fun experience.
I cannot believe the places that you're telling me that I wasn't familiar with at all. I am excited to try all of these. Yay. I don't know how you fit all this in.
It's my pastime.
It's your pastime. Yeah, it's your passion, your hobby. I love that. Okay. You've given us some great places around Tulsa. So you guys check those places out. They sound amazing. They're all local. So I know Lindsay's passionate about that. Okay, so in wrapping up, I have a theme for this year, and it's Thrive in 2025. And so I'm wondering what you do to thrive in 2025, either personally or professionally.
Well, kind of like we were talking about earlier, just setting aside a few minutes a day to dedicate to your craft or pastime. So you really have to carve out the time and sometimes plan ahead and say no to other things, but it's worth it because that will fuel you to be able to do the other things that you need to do when you're dedicating a little bit of time to your hobby or your passion that you really enjoy.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, well, that wraps it up. I appreciate you talking with me today. This has been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to try all of these places.
Thank you so much for having me, Nancy.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I appreciate you being here. And don't forget to connect with me on social media. Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn are at Sharing Passion and Purpose, and Twitter is at Passion Sharing. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.